NXT tonight. We had the show opened up with all the pros on stage. That's basically what they do weekly. They bring out all the pros, match strikers out there, and he asks each one individually what they are looking for or what they want to do to impress, be the next winner of NXT, and they also that they're looking for the it factor. Wade Barrett defeated Darren Young. We had Bryan Danielson and Michael Tarver came out. Tarver complained about being eliminated without being voted out. Daniel Bryan was introduced as Daniel Bryan and not Bryan Danielson. So, let's see here. Bryan says that he's better than The Miz. They have a back and forth, basically mic work between Danielson and Michael Tarver. Bryan challenges him to a match, and then he turns the attention to Michael Cole, which I just talked about here a few minutes ago, and he says he's a poor man's JR. And Bryan attacked Cole and beat the shit out of him until he was pulled off. So all this shit talking that Michael Cole's done week after week on NXT. Do you watch NXT or no?
Oh, a little bit, bro. I'm not too much into... Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, dude, I don't really watch it too much. Are
you okay, dude? The same thing happened last week, too, man, when we had...
Can you hear me? Yo, Ryan.
Yeah, what's up?
Dude, I've been talking, man. I've been talking, bro.
I hear you, dude. Man. Just keep fucking talking.
All I'm saying, dude, is...
keep talking, my man. What's the matter with you, dude?
Nothing, bro. I just, like I said, though, I don't really get too much into it, dude. I'm not a huge fan of it, but, I watch it from time to time.
Alright, well, anyways, they had Bryan Danielson comes out, and he attacked Michael Cole, beat him down, and that was that. And that's all we got for NXT so far, so whatever. Guys, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com/chat. Once again, WZROnline.com/chat. We'll do shout-outs, a few more of those here in just a little bit. And if you want to call up live, go to, give us a call now. It's 518-712-3070. Hey, Chris Haller, are you with me, my man?
I'm here, bro. I wanted to ask you something, though, that we were talking about earlier with the TNA releases and stuff. What do you think about, with these releases? Do you think that TNA will be signing names like Jim Ross or Shelton Benjamin still?
It'll be Jim Ross. I think me, you, and the producer talked about that before we came on the air here with Jim Ross. He's obviously not happy with his status in WWE. You can clearly see that from blogs that he's written online, where he still wants to be behind the announce booth. He still wants to be there calling matches, and they don't want him there in WWE. So basically, he claims that he's under a deal with WWE, but I guess it's not a contract where he can go out and negotiate with other companies as of right now. And there's talk, HDNet was an opportunity. As far as UFC is concerned, you have Mike Goldberg and Joe Rogan are a superb two-man announce team over on UFC, and I don't see a third guy, especially Jim Ross, just coming in there, with no experience in MMA whatsoever. So as far as a UFC debut, no chance in hell. WEC, that's possible, man, where he could go and basically work his way up in WEC. There's also HDNet, and with HDNet, you've got Ring of Honor, which is on HDNet. So there's an opportunity there if he wanted to do something there. TNA is obviously an opportunity, and there was talk that if Jim was to sign with TNA, they would have a two-man announce booth of Taz and Ross, and then Mike Tenay would take another role, possibly ring announcer. I know they've got Jeremy Borash in that role right now. David Penzer has left the company. Told people that he was burnout. Same with Vince Russo, where they're telling people that, they're burnout. So Jeremy Borash did the ring announcing at Sacrifice and at Impact last night. But if Jim were to come to TNA, they would obviously, Mike Tenay would get the boot from the announce booth. I don't believe they have any plans to do a three-man announce team, but there have been talks and there were meetings. We put it up on the website. There were meetings between Dixie Carter, Bob Carter, and Jim Ross about a month back. So, I mean, it's not out of the question,
Where do you see him landing?
I wouldn't rule TNA out. I'll just say that. But I would say either an MMA or on HDNet, like I just talked about, probably.
I got to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a few more phone calls here. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Chip, and I'm from Ohio.
What up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing much. Got a couple things we were talking about a little bit earlier with the TNA releases. Raven, as far as I know, is working indies.
Oh,
Raven, I don't know what Raven's contract status is with TNA. I think when he came back, what was it, a couple months ago, month or two ago when he came back, I think it may have just been a one-shot deal where he's not under contract with TNA, or if he is, he's on one of those pay-per-appearance deals, you know what I mean, where he comes in, gets a quick $250, and that's it,
Right, because the promotion that, is basically my hometown promotion, which is PWO Pro Wrestling Ohio, he's working for them at their upcoming show in August, so...
Wow.
Right. Well, the guys on pay-per-view or pay-per-appearance deals, man, they're allowed to go and work other promotions as long as it's not televised for pay-per-view or DVD release. You know what I mean? TNA stars are able to go and work indie feds.
Right. Two more other things I really wanted to touch on really quick. You said something about Jim Ross going to TNA. I honestly don't think he should. I think Jim Ross has always been a WWE guy. And, that kind of thing. I don't think that he would fit in TNA. I've been watching wrestling since I was 5 years old, and, I'm 19 now, and I just don't think he should go there. I don't think it should work.
The thing about it, man, is and you can see this, like I said a few minutes ago, with the tone of his blogs, where it's kind of a slap in the face, where he still wants to be behind the announce booth, and prior to WrestleMania, he had said, I'd love to call the Shawn Michaels Taker match, and basically, they ignored all that, and then basically he came out and said, I'd love to still be behind the announce booth, but it's not my decision, and that passed over, and you could clearly see that he was hinting to WWE, hey, I want to be back behind the announce booth, and, it's just, it's kind of a slap right in the face to say, you know what, you're done, and you're not going to retire. We're not, Jim wanted, and the guy's been around, he's probably the greatest play-by-play announcer in history. Okay, you've got to put him up there as and for a guy of that, a Jim Ross, for him not to be able to walk out of WWE and end his time on the announce booth, under his own terms. He's been forced out of WWE. He's been forced out of the announce booth position, and that's just a slap in the face. So it wouldn't shock me to see him. I know you say that you don't believe he fits in TNA, but let's remember, man, we had the old SmackDown announce team was Jim Ross and Taz, and they were amazing. They were amazing over on SmackDown. I mean, that was a great team. So, let's just say Jim goes over to TNA, and you've got that same old team of Taz and Jim Ross, and it works. And I'm like,
I think that would work. I don't think that Jim Ross and Mike Tenay would work. I don't see it happening.
If Jim Ross comes in, they're going to
Taz,
If Jim Ross comes in, they're going to put him in the office.
No. I think if Jim Ross comes into TNA, they're going to put him behind the announce booth. They know where he wants to be.
I meant Tenay. Tenay somewhere.
Tenay would be in the office, or he'd become ring announcer. But I agree with you where the styles. I mean, Taz and Jim Ross works as an announce team, but the styles of Mike Tenay and Jim Ross. I mean, Mike Tenay is that smart nerdy type, and Jim Ross does all his history too. You know what I mean? So it'd be a clash of styles. So I agree, man. I agree with you on that. But the Taz and Jim Ross. I mean, I'd love to see that on TNA.
One more thing really quick, one thing really quick, with all the talk of, Benjamin going to TNA and Mike Knox going to TNA, I think that if they picked up, at least those two guys and maybe a few others that have been released, Tommy Dreamer being another